Okay, so as promised, an explanation as to what the survey is. So throughout class, we've had all these assignments, and they're worth, this one was worth, I think, 50 points, and then like some of them might be worth, this was 20 points, and this one was 20 points, and things are worth a certain amount of points. Well, participation was one of the major things we had points for. If I was to download the syllabus, we would see that participation accounted for 15% of the grade. Well, we've only gotten half of that. So I can't just excise half of it, but I can't just give everyone the points either. I also have no way of knowing who watched what. That's not trackable on YouTube unless you all sign in or something. I don't even know if that's trackable. And I also don't want to track it. So, what we're going to do is this participation survey. So what happens is once you have digested this week's material, right? Once you've watched the videos, at least started the homework, you can come here and click on the survey. And I am not logged in as a student, so it's not going to let me. So stand by. Ay, ay, ay. Let's try this again. One moment. Problem solved. The test was not available to students. So you get to the end of the material, you've at least started the homework, and then you can come here to the participation survey. Click on this. It'll bring you to the survey. It is called a test. It is not a test. I need that format in order to ask the questions and answer them the way I want to, right? In order to track it. But this is not a test where there's a right answer and a wrong answer. This is like I'm calling it a survey because that's what it is. It is a chance for you to react to what we are doing. So I'm going to skip right ahead to the example questions so you understand what I mean by there's not right or wrong answers. What did you like most, or what did you most like in learning about lights this week? What gave you the most trouble in the mill wheel assignment? See why you have to at least like do some of the assignment. What did you learn from the troubleshooting video that you could apply to your own troubles in Maya? There's not multiple choice. You don't need to know technical words and things like that. This is your reaction to the assignment because I'm looking to gauge that you have actually engaged with the material, right? I'm looking to see that you have actually dealt with the material. So what that means is that when you're filling this out, I don't need you to prove that you understood everything. In fact, if there's something you didn't get, you can tell me here. It's an honest assessment of what you've read and watched. So, instructions, and these instructions will be the same for every single week. Be concise. Okay, I have to read 10, or actually I have to read 18 of these every week. You have to write one every week. There's no need to write a novel. Be specific. So if you want to prove that you have learned something, what did you learn most like in learning about lights this week? Well, I can't just say, oh, they were great. That doesn't help. I liked seeing the area lights because they seemed like they'd be very useful, or I liked seeing how the lights interacted with each other. I liked seeing how the shadows came up, right? Like that's the kind of thing you can give an answer to. All right, so I've put in a little bit of a fake answer. I liked seeing the shadows interact with the surfaces and getting to control the mood of the environment was great, right? So it's a little bit like you're showing me you're actually trying stuff and clearly you've worked with stuff, right? You could be a little bit longer than this, but it doesn't have to be super lengthy. What gave you the most trouble in the mill wheel assignment? Extruding the treads was very difficult. They didn't behave the way I wanted to. So not only it was difficult, but you're getting into the specifics that I couldn't get them to do what I wanted them to do. Also, lining up the bolts of the wheel was difficult. So it's two different issues. You might have more than two issues. You might have no issues. Being like, I could ask a question like this, and you can say, I love this assignment. I love the whole thing. I love making models. I didn't have any troubles. That is a perfectly good answer, especially if your model bears it out. If your model's a mess, then we're going to have to talk about your answer. And then what can you learn from the troubleshooting video? Learning how to search for answers on Google will help. I'm going to try to reword my questions the next time I don't get results. So you can see these are pretty short and honest. I don't need everything to be perfect. Let me zoom this in so we can actually see what these say, right? I don't need you to act like everything is going perfectly when it's not. If you're having any struggles, let me know. Also, write naturally. This is not a formal writing assignment. I know MLA and thesis statement with 3 supporting arguments and a conclusion is drilled into you. This is not that. It's also not comments on Instagram or Facebook. So, like, write real words, please. My ability to speak internet is limited. I'm old. But you don't have to be super formal, right? Like, can have a little bit of fun with this. Trying to find ways to get, participation assessed, but also, get have people interacting with the class since we can't actually interact with the class. All right, but it'll usually be 3 questions worth 2 points each. So make sure you're writing, some real answers. And when you're done, you can say save and submit, and it'll say, "Are you sure?" And it's like, "Yes." You can also just say save answers to save them for now. Um, all right, and then it'll tell you that it's been submitted, and then it should be under my grades. It should be the same as everything else. Like, I have it, it's not graded. And you can see once. Oh, I forgot to put it in there, but it's worth 6 points. All right. Okay, so this is how we're going to be doing our participation grades from now on. It is available, all of the things. If you go under assignments, there's participation assessments. All of them are going to be in here. But the due date on them is going to be, is there, oh, I'm going to make it so you can do 2 attempts. But when you click on it, it will tell you when it's due, which is usually by the end of the Wednesday of next week. So you have a full week to work on stuff and then do this participation. If you do them late, it's worth a little bit, but you'll be able to see all of them in this folder right here. Right there.